here's my glued cardboard from my cereal box. So now I'm going to trim this. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the edge. And I believe in the directions it says 8 by 8. So I think it's an 8" by 8" square. So if I was going to do that, I would start at one edge. I still want to trim that, so I'm just going to start here, make a dot where the line is, make a line where the 8 is. I'm going to line that up here. Oh, I should make that line. Then I'm going to line up the edge with that line. Make it nice and straight. This is 8 inches here. I'm going to make this line across. And I'm going to start the same way again. Put that up to that line. And this on that line. Make it nice and straight. And go up to the 8" mark here. And then it doesn't look straight at all. It may not be perfectly straight. Let's see. Maybe it is. Maybe okay. Maybe it's just that edge that's throwing me off. So I've got my 8 by 8" square. So now I'm going to cut on this line. Because it's getting a little hard to cut, I'm just going to cut this piece out so it doesn't bend the rest of it. Actually, I'm going to cut it on this side now. I'm going to trim it after. Let's see. There we go. This is hard to cut. This is not easy to cut. So you may need some assistance. Okay, and so now I have my nice sturdy cardboard. It's actually sturdier than the other one that I used for my example. So I'm going to take my ruler and do the same thing. I know it tells you to measure on 1/4 inches, I think, in the model, but I'm going to use in centimeters. Easier for me to see. So I'm going to go into number 2, and I'm going to mark, oops. Did I start it? Yeah, I did. I lined it up with the line. And I'm going to start on number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That looks right, because that would be 0, that would be 1, that's 0, that's 1. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. Starting with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oops, I'm going crooked. 15, 16, 17, 18. 19 is 1, 20 is 0, right? I'm just thinking of the reverse. So now, take my scissors and make the cuts very straight. Be careful, hold it away from where your scissors are. You don't want to accidentally cut your fingers. This actually takes some focus and attention, so try your best on doing that part. Okay, so this is all done. I'm gonna get my twine again. I'll repeat what I did. Make sure you have enough that it can get tied in the middle. Pinch it right there, right? So I have it pinched at the end in the corner. I'm going past the middle, and I'm going to pinch where that end is here, and that's going to be where I start it, in this top corner. Okay, that way on the back I can tie it like I did this one, and it will reach the other string. Okay, so leave a length. If you measured it with the 8 inches measurement, let's see, my length of this is almost 10 inches. So leave plenty of length for your yarn on the back. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to wind it down and around, being careful not to bend your paper or pull it too tight or too loose. Gosh. Okay, so I finished wrapping my loom. It seems like a decent tightness. So now I'm going to make sure that these two ends can meet and tie a knot easily. Cut the other string. And now I'm going to crisscross them. Fold one underneath, so I'm holding them together in my left hand, so that makes like a knot like you're tying your shoes. Then make a loop, crisscross them again, put the thread into the loop, so underneath, and make a knot. If you need help tying your knot, ask your learning coach. Hopefully they'll be able to show you. I know I've had students who needed help with this in the past, so don't worry if you do need some extra help tying your knot. Okay, so this is my finished loom on my cereal box. So you can see it's pretty much the exact same thing. If you have this kind of cardboard, it's the same thing. You would just measure fewer. Okay, so I would still use centimeters, and I'd probably start a little bit over, so I wouldn't have 18 threads here. I would just have maybe 10 or 12 even. So I would do the same thing here using scissors to cut. If you need help cutting your cardboard, because cardboard can be a little tricky to cut, definitely ask your parents if they can help you. As long as you do your measurements and you do your markings to show where they need to cut up to, that would be really good. And just make sure you have a dot or a line at every centimeter so that you know where those markings go, okay? So set up your looms, and we're gonna be using these in a couple of weeks, or actually next week, when we begin learning how to weave on our looms.